African news updates on top accolade news. The headlines. South Africa's Ramaphosa confident in continued US relations under Trump. Gabon sets date for presidential elections. Nigeria advocates for Africa's permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. Mozambique faces debt restructuring. In politics, South Africa's Ramaphosa confident in continued US relations under Trump. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa expressed confidence in his country's relationship with the United States under President Donald Trump, despite concerns about global relations. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, Ramaphosa reflected on his conversation with Trump following his election, where both leaders expressed optimism about future collaboration. Ramaphosa, who is currently presiding over the G20 as South Africa's president, assured that his country will work closely with the US to facilitate the transition as it prepares to take over the G20 presidency. Still in politics, Gabon sets date for presidential elections. Gabon has officially announced that its presidential election will take place on April 12, 2025, marking the end of military rule that began with a coup in August 2023. The country's interim president, Brice Oligui Nguema, who seized power in the coup, confirmed the election date in a cabinet meeting on Wednesday. Gabon has made strides towards restoring constitutional order, with voters approving a new constitution in a referendum last November. However, concerns remain as critics fear that ruling junta might use the election process to maintain its hold on power. Notably, while transitional leaders are typically barred from running, the new constitution allows Nguema to stand for election. Moving on in politics, Nigeria advocates for Africa's permanent seat on United Nations Security Council. At the ongoing World Economic Forum in Switzerland, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Toga, called for Africa's permanent membership on the United Nations Security Council. Toga criticized the continent's exclusion from the Council despite being the focus of nearly 60% of its resolution. He emphasized that Nigeria should represent Africa on the global stage, pointing to its contribution to African development and its peaceful relations with neighboring countries. Toga also discussed Nigeria's involvement in the G20 summit and the broader significance of Africa's role in global governance, particularly in light of President Bola Tinubu's strategic foreign policy. Shifting focus to economy, Mozambique faces debt restructuring. Mozambique is grappling with mounting economic challenges, including a possible debt restructuring, as political instability and external conflicts exacerbate its financial situation. The country is facing an ongoing Islamist insurgency in the north, has seen delays in developing its vast natural gas fields, a key source of future revenue. Although Mozambique's debt-to-GDP ratio improved slightly in 2023, the IMF has classified the country at high risk of debt distress. Following deadly protests in 2023, the economic disruption from political unrest, the new government under President Daniel Chapo is now forced to consider overhauling its debt. Meanwhile, Mozambique continues to struggle with external debt arrears, having already missed key payments, while its effort to maintain stability remains critical to securing long-term growth. You are watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, fleeing civilians in eastern DRC as M23 rebels clash with army. Civilians are fleeing the Nzolo displacement camp outside Goma in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as fighting intensifies between M23 rebels and the Congolese army. The M23 rebels, believed to be backed by Rwanda, have advanced closer to Goma after capturing a key supply route. Thousands of displaced people are forced to flee once again, fearing for their lives as bomb and gunfire close in. Since the start of this year, over 237,000 people have been displaced, exacerbating the already dire humanitarian crisis in the region. Despite numerous diplomatic efforts, the conflict continues to displace millions and strain international peace initiatives. Still in conflict, over 1 million flee Sudan conflict to South Sudan. The United Nations report that over 1 million people have fled the ongoing war in Sudan, seeking refuge in neighboring South Sudan, marking one of the world's worst displacement crises. The majority have crossed through the Jordan border, with many more fleeing at other points. The conflict between Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces and the Sudanese Armed Forces, which erupted in April 2023, have left tens of thousands dead and millions facing severe hunger. South Sudan, already struggling with its own challenges, is overwhelmed with resources like healthcare and shelter stressed to dangerous limits. The United Nations has called for increased international support to address the growing humanitarian emergency. Moving to entertainment. Malian singer to be released from Belgian custody. Malian singer Rokia Traoré is set to be released from custody in Belgium after reaching an agreement with her ex-partner over a child custody dispute. Traoré, who has been held in Belgium since November following her extradition from Italy due to an outstanding 2-year prison sentence, will now be freed following the resolution of the legal matter. Lawyers confirmed the deal on Wednesday, bringing an end to the legal battle that has kept the renowned musician behind bars. Now in sports, CAF announces draw ceremony for 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. The Confederation of African Football has revealed that the draw for the 2025 African Cup of Nations will take place on Monday, January 28, 2025 at the Mohammed V National Theatre in Rabat, Morocco. The event will determine the group for the 24 qualified teams who will battle it out for a spot in the round of 16. Fans around the world can watch the draw live via CAF official social media channels and partner broadcasters. Morocco, the host nation, will kick off the tournament on December 21st, 2025, with the finals set for January 16th, 2026. That concludes our African news updates for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorume Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.